The emergence of more powerful forms of artificial intelligence has the potential to disrupt existing sectors and information ecosystems. How can we better understand and harness the transformative power of the AI? Where are the opportunities and where are the risks? Today, my guest is Agnieszka Porębska, CEO of Talent Alpha, a complete talent intelligence and marketplace platform for organizations that focus on the effective digital talent management. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, very up-to-date topic. I think even in recent week in Davos, I think artificial intelligence was one of the top issues. But actually, in December, you published a very interesting report, The World of Work AI, where actually you focus a little bit on the topics that were very much live in the discussions in Davos. So it will be very interesting to hear what are the takeaways from your report, especially that within the report, you also actually analyze the scenarios, positive and negative, on how actually artificial intelligence can change our life. So, but before we start focusing on the scenarios, let's maybe start with some data. Where are we actually in terms of the adoption of AI when it comes to the business environment?
We made some research together with our partners, and they shared also their data from research they made last year. So, for example, from data from Randstad, we know that already 1/3 of all employees they researched, they had some contact with AI. Usually it was ChatGPT, but already there is some understanding what's AI and how can it work. From Everest data, Everest Group data, also the partner of our report, our takeaway is that already 90% of service providers, they do provide some services connected with AI or supported by AI. So it's already a big number of companies. However, from our research, because before publishing the report, we always meet with managers, with top managers or C-1 or managing directors or leaders of some important departments in companies. They usually say, of course, we do implement some AI. We do some exercises, some trials, but most of them do not know exactly where it will lead their company. It's not like everyday life of companies. So on one hand, we have a lot of people already understanding it's quite important topic. On the other hand, when you look inside the companies, it's not so I would say not many companies already work with AI, or not many departments work with AI on daily basis in some important.
So it's more explorational level than actually something that is structured within the companies, and it's really like supporting some business operations on the plant.
That's the level. So if you ask me, for example, is it a hype or reality? It is reality, but only in some very specific areas, not yet on the big level. However, it depends, of course, where you look. Because, for example, if you look on the usage of ChatGPT in marketing, in sales, for example, our companies in our ecosystem, Talent Alpha creates the ecosystem of 900 companies all around the world. They say that most of them, like 60% of them, already use on daily basis AI, but not for creating the code. It's only around 20%. But they work with using AI in marketing, in sales. So it's not for their core business, but in some of operations.
Okay, interesting. But do you think that the approach is more that we have to go and dig into the topic and find a way how to embrace those artificial intelligence solutions in our company, or it's wait and see? And we are looking for the leaders on the market who will start.
It depends who do you want to be as a leader. If you would like to really be a leader that make a change, there is no other way than experimenting and try and learn how to use different tools and how to implement AI. Because it's just something that will create our reality in coming months, years. So if you want to be a leader, to lead the market, you need to try. You need to make some decisions, and it's another important partner of our report was Intelligent Leadership Hub, the organization of leaders from all around the world and people supporting leaders, and their head, the founder of ILH, Ed McCormack, said in our report, it was quite an important thought for me, for example, that if you want to be a successful leader, you don't need to change a lot today, like change your business model tomorrow to use AI, but you should start another one, like another stream of your business, another leg that should have some AI component, and do it parallelly. So
interesting, yes, because usually you would think naturally that it's about implementing in what you are already doing, right? And
so I think it's a great thought for businesses. So even if you don't know how to use AI in your business today, please be ready to start some project at least to use it.
To test it on your own environment.
To test it, or to check if these AI tools could help you to change your business and do it parallelly to what you do today.
Because I also think that when we talk about how it can impact your business, I think at least we are talking about two areas. One is whether we can make our product or service better, but it's also about efficiency.
Yes.
And whether you also have some data regarding the effectiveness of the work when using the AI, because I think on LinkedIn I saw a lot of quotes that actually it's not about people who are not who will be dismissed from the labor market because they don't know AI at all, but it's about those who know AI will be much more efficient in the job they are doing.
Most of experts says it will be the direction. So of course the question is not are you going to be replaced by AI, but the question is how can you use it to make you more efficiently. From the data from our report, these were data from research of Everest Group. Already companies that are implementing AI, they can see even 30% of growth of efficiency when you're using AI in your processes. Of course, it depends where do you put it, and it can boost productivity and efficiency in this department or these processes that you implemented, of course, but it can be around 30%. And also, this is one of the initiatives in Talent Alpha, together with our partners that have some experience in AI and how to implement it. We cooperate with companies in IT sector who already have some experiences. We started a project where we promise 20% of efficiency growth if you use some tools using based on AI. So it's quite a promise. You already can promise some very serious numbers to people that will try.
So I understand that based on the examples of the companies in your network that already are using, you can actually help and lead the company through the process of implementing those solutions in different business models.
For IT processes, we can promise. Of course, we will make a first introduction.
It's tailor-made, I understand, yes.
To see if really the tools we have can help. But after a 15 minutes talk or half an hour talk, we will be ready to tell you if we could implement it in your company, and you can already use AI to boost your efficiency.
Interesting. And I think that leads us to another question, which is of course a big question about what impact it will have on the labor market. Yes, whether we should be afraid of losing jobs. Are there any, clear answer to those questions? I know that in the report you analyze actually positive and negative scenarios, which has something to do with also impact of AI on the labor market. So I think it's the right moment to tell us what is the positive and what's the negative scenario.
Yeah, so it's not an easy answer for this question. And if you see a lot of research, you will see a different approach. I've seen the numbers from World Economic Forum from this month. which says that 30% of jobs all around the world will be impacted by AI, and half of them will probably disappear. And it's really eye-opening when you listen to real people, not like reading it in a book or reading it in a newspaper, but when you hear leaders that are leading their companies, top executives, or some advisors, I don't know, Fortune 500 companies advisors talking what they see from real life, and then they are trying to extrapolate for the next year, 10 years, and 30 years, and you can hear that they really believe it can go really wrong, or they believe, yes, we can use it, but we need to be very cautious. And then you realize it's not like science fiction. It really can happen. So what can happen in negative scenario? We can lose a lot of jobs, really a lot of jobs, and companies who are in power and in charge, and they are controlling AI. And probably there could be a concentration of AI, especially if the legal changes will support concentration of power. So, but it also gives you a lot of control on data and on people. So when you give this tool to people in democracy, we can expect it will be used for our needs and purposes. But in fact, we don't know who will lead the world in coming 10 years, 20 years. We can see what's happening now.
Even this year, for billions of people who go to elections. So.
Yes. It's happening in China, for example. So there are nearly everything is controlled by the government. And in many countries, the same can happen. And then you don't know who will really make decisions about what you will read in your newspaper, or are you going to get your insurance or not because they get some data? Are you behaving well or not really? They don't like you, so decisions could be made. And very serious decision about your life can be made by somebody just having control on digital tools. So
in the negative scenario, it's more like a weapon. It might become a weapon.
A weapon or a source of control over people. So in negative scenario, the discrepancy between poor and very rich, or weak and strong, is getting bigger.
So let's maybe move to the positive scenario.
And positive scenario is very exciting. So when you think about how AI can help in healthcare, in environment, creating new ideas. By the way, in our report, we talked to the professor from Montana University, who says that they made a research that already AI tools can be more creative than humans, which is quite surprising, because we thought that it's really rather for repetitive tasks, not for creating new ideas, and really new and different and very very original. But coming back to the topic, AI can help us in creating new solutions in business. New business models, new, I don't know, even new things. They are creating ideas what you can build, or even new chemical objects or solutions, or new resources. So there are many things that could be discovered by AI.
By combining a lot of data, which actually you are not able to see it through as a human, but then
yes,
AI can do it, right?
And if you ask AI how to solve some very serious problems, they can give you a very, very nice solution, because nowadays we cannot compute enough number of data to find a solution, and and AI is capable of doing it. The same for education. When you think about using AI in education, then every pupil can have their own program, how to learn, what to learn, and you are democratizing education all around the world, and it's becoming very cheap. So it's another chance to change the world when you give these education tools to everybody around the world. And if we use AI in a proper and wise way, it can be a great tool to really help the humanity and our world. So it's a very bright and exciting.
Yes, well, you mentioned two things, regulations and education, which I think a little bit goes also in line, as always. First you can have regulations, and then you have to also educate people about what are the frames, right? And I think that this is also something that was mentioned in Davos, that actually some experts mentioned that we are now at the point where we have to do these regulations very wisely, because at this stage, the pace of the development of AI is actually faster than the regulations the governments around the world are doing. So what's your takeaway on that?
And it will not change. It will be always faster. Because when you look how long it takes to do any regulation, and of course it's good that it takes this time, you will and the speed of rapid changes in IT and AI world, it will be never at the same pace. But here, I think we need to be aware of two perspectives. One is it's good to regulate some things, and an AI Act that is now, for example, being implemented in Europe or being finalizing in discussions in Europe, is bringing a lot of solutions that are needed. For example, when implementing AI in your workplace, you will have to set up some rules and follow rules that will not neglect anybody or harm anybody, and will not bring some bias and so on and so on. And it's quite important for us as employees, for example, as people in just gray life, to be sure that there will be no bias, for example, that somebody will not take decisions about your life based on some biased AI algorithms. It will also, when you will implement some serious AI solutions, you will have to be aware how it works. Now, the problem with AI is it's like a black box. Today, even creators of AI algorithms and AI solutions, sometimes they don't know why it brings some results, why they bring some results. So it's like a black box. So something is coming in, and they don't know really why it works. And it's just something that is connected with how some of the algorithms are being built. And with AI Act is bringing the demand that you will have to know what's happening inside,
Step by step.
So it's quite important, because if you are somebody affected by the decision, for example, of as I mentioned before, the insurance company, you will not get insurance, or it will be higher. You should be in charge, or it should be allowed for you to ask questions why, and they should be able to answer why. Because, for example, now we can see that your history is, I don't know, having a lot of you have a lot of accidents on the road when you are driving a car or whatever. But the answer should be there. Nowadays, it's not so clear why AI is giving some results. So I think this kind of legislation is very needed. On the other hand, we need to be aware that any legislation is limiting what company is doing and what are they doing, and also lowering the competitiveness of solutions and companies on some market. So when we, for example, think about our own market versus, I don't know, China market, or whatever could be, I don't know, from Middle East, that they will not have some kind of regulation. We need to be aware that they could get some power and some more competitiveness over us and our solutions. And last but not least, we should be also aware that some legislation can be look very nice from the beginning, from the first glance, but then they can bring some serious results. And it could be when you look for example at the GDPR rules, they looked very nice. So they were built to protect us and our data. At the end, it occurred that big companies are really now. It's now their competitive advantage that they can really. It's easy for them to get all agreements from us, and we agree to give them data and process our data. And when you have a small company, it's very difficult for them to get these agreements. So every law. And that's why it takes time, and every law should be very cautious when bringing it to life.
Very, a lot of different factors, on one hand ethics, on the other hand the consolidation of the market in, the hands of really just a few tech company that will be in power of the ecosystem at the end, because the access for the smallers and the medium is maybe not that easy at that time, the regulations on the other hand, but also the education of people, that actually they know what they can ask, how they are in all this environment, how it has an impact on I've never thought actually about the process, yes, because usually when I was talking about AI or thinking about AI, I thought that one of the biggest problem is also the source of information, which is in general problematic nowadays, yes. In many areas, even scientists sometimes have problems with the proper data, yes. So, and then if you are basing any other, research or anything, on the wrong data, that can also lead to the problem. But this process in between, so how the decision was made, that's really interesting point that you made.
Absolutely, and there is one more perspective also very important: security controls during this process. So, for example, and some rules that you give to AI. So there are some ethical questions, but also some business questions. I will give you an example. So. And I think it's quite well-known example. So when the car is driving and it's self-driving car, and it's based on some AI algorithms, and then it must take a decision. So for example, there are two people on the road. Which one they will hit? And there is no other way. So in real life, there is no decision. It's just a matter of it's accidental. What will happen with AI? You need to somehow control it and program it. So what kind of decision this tool will take? And there is also one more question with the general purpose of AI. I mean, is a term that is describing the self-conscious or self-making decision AI. What goal it should what should be the goal for this AI? Even if we put, for example, if we set the goal on the very beginning for the AI, you should be, I don't know, you should lead people to be happy, and you should work on our advantage. Then there is a question, but who exactly? So you cannot make all people happy. So who will suffer, and who will be well treated, and who will make these decisions? So there are a lot of questions. What should be inside AI? What kind of security controls it should have, and also what kind of goals you should set inside. So really a lot of questions. In our report, you can read also some insight from Professor Stuart Russell, the very famous lecturer and speaker on AI, and he gives some tips how you could build the system, the AI tool and rules it should follow to make it more secure and friendly for people. But I will not tell you what exactly.
That would be another interview.
You should read the report.
Great. Okay, I think that a lot of people knows about AI. Some of them maybe treat it as a science fiction. Some other knows that it's actually very it's happening today, or it will happen or affect their workforce in the upcoming future. So you yourself, are you optimistic, pessimistic, and do you have any advice where to start, how to start? I don't think it's that easy.
I would say I'm rather realistic. So it can seem like I'm just aware of all scenarios that we also described in the report, and everything can happen. And I also think about that we should really be interested in the topic. So I can see a lot of people who are. I even mentioned it to you before we started the interview that I spoke to some journalists last days, and he said that the topics with AI in the topic were they met with the lowest interest in their
portal.
In their portal. Nobody wanted to click on it, or the number of people interested in the topic were really low. When it's one of the most important topics of our times, and I think a lot of people tend to try not to think about it. They are afraid, or they think it's too I don't know, dangerous or
complicated.
Too complicated for them. They will not understand what's going on inside. But in fact, we really should be interested in it. So I think we all should be very realistic, and there is no other way to try than to try. You will not understand what is AI if you do not try it on your own example. If you don't decide to use some tool in your work, if you don't decide to really make a trial with different tools, there is no other way for companies to understand if they can use AI in their development if they don't start with even some small examples, even some samples. And I really recommend to start with something very small, so you can really check what are the tools, AI tools. Try to even tell your people, you have a month, try 3 tools and bring me results. How do you find it useful in our business? If you really don't know where to start, I think many Polish companies have this problem. So they think that if they are, for example, I don't know, you have a factory company, some manufacturing company, or you have some, I don't know, e-commerce portal. People are just doing their business as usually. They don't think they can use AI. And they don't want know where to start. They don't know these tools. There are plenty of tools, but they don't know how to use it. If you have this problem, you can even come to us. As I mentioned, we have this program when we give free consultations where to start, and we can show you some tools, and you can start with that. But you will not understand what the discussion is about. What are we thinking about, and where is the future if you don't try by your own?
Okay, so like with all other innovations, it's better to start and to test it, and then, and not to be afraid of it, because postponing the time of the contact with the new is actually not making us in a better position, but actually might be worse for us, or even take us out of the game if we talk about the business industry. Yes,
exactly.
Because I think that at the end of the day, I think no one has doubts that AI will change everything, but we can be a little bit in the control how it will affect our business environment, our life, a little bit at least.
Yes, and also we should be also as citizens, we should be quite conscious and just demand from our politicians, from also our managers, and our environment to really talk about AI, try AI, but also make some conscious decisions about where we are going to go with it.
So that's a real test for leadership. It's okay not
Absolutely.
to know. It's okay to ask any questions, and it's okay to learn.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Agnieszka, for the discussion.
Thank you very much.